Hi, my name is Adam Funk, and I am an attorney in Houston, Texas, and I specialize in childbirth injury cases. I get a lot of calls from folks inquiring whether or not they have a case. These are really the 5 signs that majority of the time I see that tell me whether or not the birth injury occurred because of medical negligence, or if these signs aren't there, perhaps just human nature, unfortunately. So let's dive right into these signs. The first sign is if the nurses seem to be worried during your labor and delivery. If they are constantly repositioning you, if they were putting oxygen on mom, or if they were calling the doctor and inquiring where he or she was, that is a telltale sign that something might have been wrong and medical negligence was involved here. The second sign that I see quite a lot is a non-reassuring fetal heart tracing. What does that mean? So a fetal heart tracing are the monitors that are placed on mom. There's usually 2 little buttons or discs that they put on. One is to measure the baby's heartbeat. The other one is to measure the uterine contractions of mom. Those 2 things will tell us how is baby doing inside. If the fetal heart rate tracings, the actual strip that comes out, that's printed out, is non-reassuring, if you had heard those words, that's a sign that medical negligence was involved in your particular baby's birth injury. The third sign that I see quite a lot is if you were pushing and in labor for many hours. And I'm not talking about an hour or 2. My wife went into labor and she was over 2.5 hours of pushing. I'm talking about when it gets into the 3-4 hour mark. That's when things become problematic, and very likely medical negligence might have been involved if there is a birth injury. The fourth sign that I see quite a lot is when there is chaos in the delivery room. If you had a pretty calm labor and the OB popped in every so often and a nurse was always there by your side, and then all of a sudden it turned into this chaotic scene where a surgical team came in and a neonatology team came in, so on and so forth, and all of a sudden it went from 2 people to 14 people, then that is a sign that medical negligence could have been involved in your particular case. And the last sign that I always tell folks that I see quite often and why medical negligence probably occurred is if the baby needed extra help after the birth. A lot of times you've seen it, they suction the baby out, they put the baby on a warmer. Those are very common. Those aren't what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a very rapid response by the neonatology team. They take the baby to the NICU immediately, or they put it on the warmer and they're evaluating, or if they are doing CPR, or even putting oxygen on the baby. Those are obvious signs that something might have happened during birth and delivery, which caused an injury, and it was due to medical negligence. These are the 5 signs that are very common that differentiate whether or not your baby was born due to medical negligence or unfortunately just happens to be a medical happenstance. My name is Adam Funk. Again, I'm an attorney in Houston, Texas. I specialize in childbirth injuries. I'm happy to help answer any of your questions. Please give me a call.